Hello, happy solstice, the shortest day of the year, and each day forward we get a little more light, which we can so readily use. So Jupiter and Saturn are both in Aquarius now. The solstice is a very special time, but this year even more so, of course, because we have had this Jupiter-Saturn coming together in this conjunct energy, sharing the same space. By 3 days from now, Jupiter will slowly be starting to leave behind Saturn, and so this conjunction is very short term. Jupiter and Saturn, of course, are conjunct every 20 years, and for the last 200 years, all of these conjunctions have taken place in Earth signs. Earth is very materialistic, and we're getting clear signals that the planet can't sustain this continued expansion that seems to have become our way of life. The concept of success means continued growth, continued expansion. The Earth can't take any more of that. So this year's very special. It is not just a Jupiter-Saturn conjunction, but in an air sign. And for the next 200 years, these conjunctions will take place in air signs. So we'll slowly see the evolution of intellectualism and science-based reasoning having far more influence on our societies and how they work than we've seen in the last 200 years. So Jupiter's in Aquarius and Saturn's in Aquarius for the next year. Now, for Aquarius people, that means Jupiter's going to cross over their sun. Very beneficial. As well, the other two air signs, Gemini and Libra. Jupiter between January and June, and then again from October through to December, we're going to see Jupiter in Aquarius and potentially forming a trine energy, a trine angle, with people born with the sun in Gemini or Libra. So it's a year of potential growth and expansion and increase in a positive way for the air signs this year. Now, as time gets going into 2021, we're going to see more and more technological development influencing and affecting our lives. At the same time, we have this back to the land need developing more and more. It'll be a very interesting time in the next period of years, starting in 2021. Aquarius energy brings out the crazy in people, however. It brings out the inventive and the original and the innovative in people and in general in society. But it also brings out the potential to go to extremes in concepts of freedom and in behavior in general. Extremes in behavior, extremes in experience, and sudden change is the real nature of the Aquarian energy. And this will continue. In fact, when we look to 2021, the most dominant transit that is quite significant for the year, for all of us, will be Uranus and Saturn forming a square. And we're going to see this in February, we're going to see it in June, and we're going to see it in December, 3 times in 2021. Now, when Uranus and Saturn are square, historically, it's again seeing our structures being whacked suddenly, and we see sudden dramatic change affecting either the financial system or the real estate system, some system that is part of our society during the month of February, during the month of June, and during the month of December. These will be very vulnerable to sudden change. So the challenging energies of 2020 aren't going to suddenly go away. In 2021, we need to continue to be patient and flexible and open to change. This is the key. All of our systems and all of our collective structures and systems that make our societies work need changing, dramatically need changing. But we need to approach that change as a group and not chaotically splitting off into different factions with extreme concepts and extreme philosophies. In 2021, we're going to see again these sudden changes. This essence of Aquarius, which is change itself, is still going to be very, very dominant, possibly even more so. So this big aspect will be Uranus square Saturn. Now historically this is associated, as I said, with change, and it's also associated with economic hardship and lacking in employment. In fact, Uranus and Saturn were square in November of 1929, when the stock market crashed. However, there were some pretty dramatic squares involving Pluto immediately afterwards, which of course was reflective of the war following the stock market crash and the depression of the 30s. We don't see that happening this time. But we need to learn to adapt to a new normal. It's time for a reset for ourselves and for the environment. We need to try more to be pro-change and stop resisting change, which is inherent in the human nature. We need to find opportunity in restrictions. And we need to learn to live in a world that is not global. We need to relearn living in individual communities productively and efficiently, because I believe the global era is potentially over. And literally a new normal is going to be evolving. So stay open to newness. This is our hope. So take good care. Mercury will be retrograde in January, late January and February. There will be 3 Mercury retrograde periods in 2021. And the first Mercury retrograde period in late January, February will be in Aquarius. Tremendous focus on all of this Aquarian energy. So again, expect crazy behavior and extreme revolutionary and rebellious behavior. And newness, new approaches, new innovative ways of doing things out of necessity. Stay open to it. Bless you. Take care.